when I see an athlete willing to talk himself out onto a limb and then have to back that up in a sport where you are sure to be embarrassed at times, I love that. And now he got burnt enough that what? Now he's walking it back? Or is it just that it's a team sport and he's hearing stuff in the locker room?
Max, I'm with you on wanting to hear dudes jump out there in that water, as we say down south. But I will say this. When you're getting beat to sleep, it's time to be quiet, all right? So last year, the Jaguars had nothing to talk about. And Jalen Ramsey identifies that. But this is not about losing. This is not about losing. This is about the bag. I'm growing. Yeah. I'm maturing.
And he's going to secure
This is about the bag. He's in a contract year. He's about to get paid. So after he get paid, he'll turn back into the Jalen Ramsey that we know, which is smart business to me.
Well, first of all, I love it. I don't hate it at all. I love what he did. And this is the reason why. Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin is the executive vice president for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tom Coughlin is the former two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. What was Tom Coughlin's reputation for many, many years? Don't play.
Yep.
No nonsense. He doesn't. He doesn't tolerate. He doesn't. You know, you late if you 5 minutes early. That's Tom Coughlin. He don't have time for all of that. He's not playing that game. Now, to some degree, that leads to your point about you being absolutely correct. It's about the bag. It's about getting those dollars. But it's also about the fact that, remember, because you got to remember something. Jalen Ramsey could come at him and go like this. We were 5-11. It damn sure wasn't because of our defense. We had fourth-ranked defense in the NFL. We were number 2 against the pass, and I'm one of your cornerbacks. So I had a lot to do with you being number 2 against the pass. He could simply go that route, but he knows where he's at. And he knows who he's playing for. And you have a man that's a stickler. I sat in front of, you sat next to Julian Edelman. What was he talking to us about? There's a certain way that ship is ran in New England. Yeah, you could get the bag when you're balling. Yeah. And oh, by the way, you're towing the company line. In New England, they enforce that. With the New York Giants, once upon a time, they forced that. What was Tom Coughlin's problem and what ultimately led to his exodus from the New York Giants? The fact that he let go of those principles to some degree when it came to Odell Beckham Jr. in some people's eyes. So when you look at it from that perspective, and now that he's in Jacksonville, wait a minute. I've been here before. I've seen these kind of players before. I see how that mouth might get you in trouble. Your mouth depositing checks that your behind can't cash. I'm not trying to hear that. You're going to toe the line or else. And I know what you did this year. And even though you might have stepped back in terms of, yards allowed, number of interceptions, you only had 3 last season, all that stuff, it don't matter because I know how great you are. But you need to understand that your mouth had a very detrimental effect on this franchise. And I run this franchise, not you. So I'm not going to let you get away with it. Jalen Ramsey realizes that and said, as you said, I'm after the bag. Smart on his part. Very smart.
You both make great points. Go get that money, Jalen. I get that. And you with Coughlin, that's exactly right. Like I almost had nothing else to say, but you know me too well, Stephen A. Mm-hmm. Remember that Giants? Listen, Coughlin's way works. Better than most. Coughlin's way works better than most. Look where he goes and ultimately what winds up happening. Not everyone gets to the title game. Not everyone wins a Super Bowl. Coughlin's teams do when that culture sets in and it takes a little time, but it works. But it's not like it's the only way it works or it's necessarily the best way to work it. And think about even his Giants experience. He's about to get the boot. They formed I forgot what they called it, like a veterans committee on the team, leadership committee. And they would liaison with Coughlin like, okay, we hear you, but this is what's going on in the locker room. This is what's going on with the players.
Right, but I got it. But they didn't get better when Coughlin left.
Hold on, let me say this.
No, it didn't.
Let me say, this is the most important point. There are people, you have to take stock of your locker room. Jimmy Johnson might not have had a problem with cats acting up because they came out and balled, and B, his bottom line was winning. We have some people like a Bill Belichick, like a Tom Coughlin, like a Bill Parcells and others. It's not just about winning. It's about control. Understand who's the boss, understand what culture I want, and understand that I think that you can have a negative effect on everybody else.
That's part of how they win.
And that's part of how they win. So you look at a guy like Jalen Ramsey, and Coughlin's like, nah, we ain't having that. And I want to be very clear when I say this, because no matter what line of business, everybody's trying to get your money. At the end of the day, you must prove to me The people who deserve to get paid are the ones who proves they're trustworthy. The ones who if I give you this money, you ain't gonna take my money and then say, all right, I got you now. Nah, I need to trust that you got something inside of yourself that says, I want to validate every penny that I'm earning. And that's where Jalen Ramsey is gonna have to show up.
So here's the dynamic and what makes it so hard in sports. It's always hindsight after you get the bag. It's always hindsight, right? We saw Odell Beckham antics before he got paid. Once he got paid, you get a little more of a leash. Nick Saban told me something when I was playing for him that it shaped my entire sports career. Everybody be treated fair, but everybody ain't treated equal. And that's how this goes. If you a baller, you got more leeway to say and do things outside of what you're doing. You think Belichick liked all the stuff Gronk was doing? Hell no. But I ain't winning the Super Bowl without him.
Right.
So it's a difference when you have guys in your locker room like that. The problem that Jalen Ramsey ran into is that they sucked last year. Yeah. The year before he went crazy, Jacksonville was in the playoffs deep, possibly going to the Super Bowl.
And he talked about stuff he could have, but
Molly,
not
read
his
that
team.
question. Read that question again.
Like, love, or hate Ramsey.
Okay. His trash talk, right?
Down his trash talk.
Okay. Everything you're saying is true. I gotta like it. I hate it. I hate it. I loved it when Ramsey was talking.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.